This week, we officially dive into negative numbers. Now, this week, you really need to be able to understand that a negative number is a number, and also be able to understand where that number lies on the number line. So if you have your number line right here and you have 0, all of the numbers to the right are going to be positive, and then all of the numbers to the left are going to be negative. Just like when you learned early on in elementary school about opposites, right? The opposite of up is down, the opposite of left is right, the opposite of black is white. Numbers also have opposites. And we've talked about this before when we talked about absolute value. So over here, I have a couple of numbers. I have the number 2, and then over here I have the number -2. So if you notice right here, I also have, right here I have this number bond. And basically when I put a number into the part plus the other part, and I add them together, it's going to create a whole. So if I were to take this 2 and put it right here, and then I were to put this -2 here, well, this actually would create what number? It would create the number 0. Because if you think about it, if I have 2, right, and then a -2, maybe we're going to make those x's, and I can actually take it and take these x's and move them over here and put them on top of these. And I have now canceled out my 2 numbers, and now I have 0 left. So let's go ahead and erase all of this. It also takes a little bit. It's taking forever to erase this, isn't it? All right, we'll try one more time. We're going to erase a little bit more, and we'll leave it for now. So let's go ahead and make another number bond. So what I want to do is, why don't we pick another set of numbers that are going to make a whole of 0? Well, if I put a +4 and then a -4, those also are going to cancel each other out and make a 0. Now, what I mean by cancel each other out is that if I were to go over 4 spots on my number line, right? Positive number means I'm going to head to the right, and I go this way. And now if I were to add -4 to that, well, -4 means I'm going to move to the left 4 spaces. I'm going to go back 1, back 2, back 3, back 4 spaces. And I end up at 0. So now let's double check. I believe I have one more set of opposites. So if I were to put a 6 here and a -6, they also are going to end me back at 0. So let's play around with a couple other numbers and begin to think about how I can actually use the numbers here to create a whole. So instead of writing a number into the whole, can I use one of my numbers here? Well, if I were to take 4 and add 2 to it, I'm going to get 6, right? Because I know that 4 plus 2 is 6. Well, likewise, if I were to take my -4 and I were to add -2 to it, I'm going to get -6. Now, some of you might be thinking, what? How is that even possible, Miss LaFuse? Again, let's think of our number line. I'm at 0. And I go backwards or to the left, right? Here's -4. And when I add -2 to it, that means I'm going to go to the left 2 spaces, right? I'm adding a value of -2, and -2 is this way, and I end up at -6. So let's try another one. Get this erased. So while I'm erasing this, can you think of another set of numbers that I can use? So let's go ahead and move these out. All right, so what if I were to take 2, positive 2, and add negative 4 to it? What will I get? Well, I'll get negative 2. And another way to kind of visually think of this is I have negative 2 right here. Or I'm sorry, I have positive 2, right? And then I have negative 4. So let's put those in blue. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, remember that these are going to equal 0. This is also going to equal 0. And these are both negatives. And how many negatives are left? I have 2 negatives left. So my answer is going to be negative 2. All right, let's do just one more example. Okay, so let's say, wrong side. Say I have positive 4 and negative 6. What will my answer be? Let me think of it again, how I did over here. So if I have positive 4, let's go ahead and draw that out. Positive 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have negative 6, right? 2, 3, 4, and we'll add 5 and 6. Okay. Well, a positive and a negative are going to equal 0. So right, there's 0, there's another 0, there's another 0, and there's another 0. The blues are negative, right? Negative, negative, and I have negative 2 left. So 4 plus a negative 6 is going to equal negative 2. So again, there's going to be 2 methods that we can think about this, right? There's 2 methods, okay? One method is going to be using the number line. Another one is going to be thinking of this kind of idea of number bonds where positive plus its negative are going to cancel each other out, essentially making 0.